Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is The Mad Knives, a 5-album, 5-movie sci-fi concept project, and today we're doing a weekly journal entry. This is TMK016, 16 weeks. Where are we? We are in album and movie 1 out of 5. We're working on vocalists, and the big news is that the pilot is done. Let's get into it. Show the logo, play the music. Okay, so what happened? The pilot is finished tracking. Which is very exciting news. And he gave me lots of takes to choose from. We're gonna talk more about that probably next week, but I will also be introducing the pilot next week. So you can all have links and see who's been working on the thing. I'm excited about his tracks, and also excited because that means that 3 of the 4 vocalists are finished, which is crazy. The other thing that happened is the new farmer candidate sent me test tracks, which I haven't listened to yet, but that's next on my to-do list for today. So I will be evaluating those test tracks this afternoon, and then hopefully, if they're good, we'll just be able to move on forward. And I'm sure that they're good, but you know what I mean, if they're a good fit and we're both happy with the idea, then we'll get to move forward with some tracks for the farmer, hopefully soon, which is... that would be the final vocal tracks, which is crazy, very crazy. So that's what happened last week. Sort of a basic short list, but the important stuff to be working on. So let's also head to the next section here, my favorite section of the weekly journals, feelings. Let's talk about my feelings for this whole thing. So, like for... what's the right way to say this? For the first time in a couple of weeks, I am basically just excited again. I'm excited to have all the tracks from the pilot, and like I mentioned, he did like several takes of all the tracks, and I really feel like I have a lot of material to choose from, which is very cool. And all the takes are like good, so I get to choose based on characteristics and like little nuances and stuff. So that's amazing. Like, he really went for it. I'm excited to introduce him to you guys next week. And the other thing that I have written down is that I'm finally getting back into the right headspace. So there was like, the project hit a little weird like valley a couple weeks ago, where like a couple of things kind of went wrong, and there were some delays and some things that I wanted to switch around and stuff. And if I'm being really honest, like it really knocked me out of my productivity headspace, gosh, for like 2 or 3 weeks, I think. And it was weird. Like, it wasn't like I was getting like frustrated or angry or anything like that, but it just like I messed up my motivation a little bit. Like I just was sort of on my heels, you know, like not driving forward as much as I could, and not pushing the momentum as much as I had in the first, I don't know, 12 weeks or so of the project. And it was bound to happen, and it's, you know, it's not terrible or anything, but things started moving again in the last week or so, and it's bringing me back into the right mentality. Like, I was just having a hard time deciding what to do next and figuring out the next steps and everything, and like, you know, staying motivated. But it was a relatively short dip in a relatively gigantic timeline. So I don't think it's anything to be worried about. It was weird, and I didn't like it that much. But I'm climbing out now. Like, I'm mentally climbing out of this valley, and very excited that things are happening again. And so this is, I I don't know how, I think this happens to any musicians, and I sort of had a thought about it the other day. When the project hit a little bit of a delay or a valley, as I've been calling it, I also kind of didn't like the songs for like a week or two, which is absurd. I've been working with these songs for a very long time, and like I overall I do like them, and I'm excited about people hearing them. But like when things slowed down, there's even part of my brain that was going, "Are you sure this whole thing isn't dumb? Like, are you sure the whole thing doesn't sound stupid and it's not like a bad idea or whatever?" And I mean, like, the honest answer is I don't know, but it doesn't, that doesn't really matter. Like, my task is to do my best to bring this vision to fruition and do it the best that I can, but not get all wrapped around my axles about whether or not it's like amazing or what other people are going to think of it or whatever. So like doubts on top of doubts when things start to go wrong, but feeling much better about it the past couple of days and excited to see what happens this week, basically. So what's next? The Farmer, hopefully, presuming that everything works, will be producing tracks for The Farmer. Also, if that all starts happening, I get to actually start thinking about mixing. There are a few candidates, like I have a short list in my head of people that have mentioned that they mix or mentioned that they know somebody. So we're getting ever closer. Once the Farmer is done with the tracks, then it's going to be time to mix and figure out what that costs and how long that's going to take. And I have to really get my production notes in mind for how I want the mix to work, because there's sort of an arc to it, and there are some little things I want to do in the album that reinforce the story and the videos and the movie from a mixing standpoint. So that's something that I'll have to get my head around when we get to that point. The other thing that just happened is I just released a story series video. So this is out now. This is story series number 10, the very last song on the first album, which is entitled "We're Gonna Be the Mad Knives." It's a long title. But I'm pretty stoked to have that out. It's out right now. You can go watch it. It's number 10 in the story series. I've made it through all 10 of the songs off the first album and talked about what's going to happen in the movie and what's happening in the story that goes along with the songs. And after this one, I'm going to do one more video attempting to wrap up the entire story series all in one video. That could be a little challenging, but then that'll be the end of the story series. And since this is the journal entry, I'll go ahead and talk about what's going to happen after that. What I'm going to do after that for the deep dive videos is I'm going to start making videos going through the drum grooves for these songs. Now, this is going to be a little specific and, very drummer centric, but there is an underlying unique groove that is going on through this whole project that was actually kind of what instigated this whole project. And I have a drum method book written about it. And I'm going to start going through the actual grooves that I used in each of these 10 songs and playing them, describing how the groove works, and showing you where to find it in my drum book. So, like I said, very much for drummers, but that's what's going to be happening in the deep dives for the next 10 weeks or so. I'm really excited to start talking about this drum groove, and I believe it to be pretty unique. So I'm excited to see what people think of it and sort of explain how it can be used in like a real musical situation in real songs on a real album. That's the point of the whole thing. So heads up for that coming in a couple weeks. That's I think that's it for this journal entry. Like, things are moving ahead again, slowly but surely, and I'm excited about it, but it's not like a million things happened this week, so that's about all we have to talk about. Check out the website. You can find me at themadknives.com, or you can catch me over on Instagram at themadknives. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.